Can you hear me at all?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you guys. Hey, Cleveland Kate, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Rach. How are you?
Hey, Nat, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. So you ladies officially have met. Cleveland Kate, meet Nat. Nat, meet Cleveland Kate.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I've heard good things about you, so.
Uh-oh. Lies. All lies.
So how'd your ladies' weekends go?
It was okay. Lots of baseball.
I had my granddaughter all day Saturday. We went swimming.
Oh, that's fun.
My husband was on his yearly trek to go fishing with the boys, so I had 2 days, mostly 2 days off, so to speak.
All right, ladies. So Nat, so tell me what's going on with the Cleveland Indians, because I don't understand what's going on with them right now.
I love talking Indians with you, Rachel. We have fun with that, but yeah. So yesterday was complete slaughter. Probably should be a mercy rule somewhere in baseball. With the 18, I think it was 18-5 battering that we took. So I continue to say it. I'll probably be saying it all season because it's like when we got the no hit, we were no hit on twice, and I said a loss is a loss. So I'm just going to keep reminding myself that doesn't matter if we lost 5-0 or 18-5, even though that really sucked, to put it mildly. But I remind myself that Saturday also the Indians did score 10 runs, 10 runs on a season high 13 hits. So I mean, we can take that as a little positive takeaway from the weekend, if there's much positive to be said. Also, Bobby Bradley, he did really well. He was the bright spot in yesterday's game, and fans have been clamoring to bring him up now, for good month or more. So I think they're pretty happy to see him, and good to see him producing in just his first few games. So that's basically what happened over the weekend, and I'm going to try to forget about yesterday and just move on to St. Louis.
What were the issues that the Indians and Kate, just in case I didn't get a chance to tell you, Natalie is Cleveland Indians beat writer for Sports Illustrated. So, she covers all things Indians for SI. But what was the issue? Because they did so well against the White Sox. And then, they're supposed to have this favorable matchup against the Baltimore Orioles, who are one of the worst teams in baseball. They're definitely the worst team in the American League, but one of the worst teams in baseball. And it just seems like nothing was doing.
Right. And I think a lot of times the Indians seem to play worse against the worst teams. I don't understand. So, on paper, it should have been a given, an easy series. I said that against Detroit in the opener this year, and didn't go so well. So I'm going to quit saying that on paper anything's easy with them. But I think the main issue and what I believe, in my opinion, we're really struggling with is the pitching situation right now. So, of course, at the beginning of the year, we had one of the best pitching rotations in the American League, and maybe possibly higher up there in all of baseball. So right now it is a puzzle. So Cal Quantrill started for yesterday. He only lasted an inning, or not even. I mean, I can't at this point let you know. And then, they just followed along. It was a bullpen game after that. And we also, we as in, I always talk like I'm on the team, but I feel like I am. They could probably give me a bat. Maybe I could go out there and, hit for them. But, the offense wasn't giving any support. And hats off to Mullins, for the Orioles. I mean, that kid, he's on fire. I think he had 10 or 11 straight, consecutive hits yesterday, and they were against us, several of them. So there were two issues. It was that starting pitching, we have with Plesac out, with with them sending Tristan down, it's just like we have Savali and Bieber as the plugins. After that, it's just kind of, whoever they're going to put out there and let go. So, and they made a lot of bad defensive plays. I'll use the word bad to keep it PG here, but yeah, there was Cal threw that ball at home plate. He spiked it about 20 feet in front of the plate to get a runner out. I said that's what I would have looked like throwing out a first pitch. I mean, that was horrible. But he owned up to it in the pregame. But in the outfield, all three of them were out there, and there's a trio around. The ball just drops. Several bad defensive plays all around, and the pitching. So. That my opinion, you're not going to win that way.
So should we be worried, especially with this pitching situation? Because, you had Bieber. Bieber isn't looking as Bieberish. So you have him. He appears to be struggling. And we don't know if he's injured or anything like that, but he appears to be struggling. Then you had Zach Plesac pull a Trevor Bauer. So right now, Aaron Savali is pretty much your best pitcher at this point, but also you have to figure out what you're going to do with Tristan as well. I mean, I guess, is this the time to kind of worry about pitching just because of injury as well?
Yeah, so I find myself going back and forth. I'm a little panicked about that situation. Went from being, like you said, solid, pretty much. I mean, all the way back to Logan Allen. He was number 5 a long time ago, and most of us forget he was even on the team. But so yes, we should. To answer your question, we should be concerned a little bit right now. Bieber has been saying, to the media in the post games or whatever, that he's physically feeling well, but for him, he's working on some mechanics. He knows what his issues are, so he's working on those. So I have faith that he's gonna hopefully, get back. The great thing about Bieber is when he has a bad day for Bieber, it's not god awful, So a bad day for Bieber is kind of like a
good day for the 5th guy in a rotation.
Absolutely, that'd be like a Cy Young outing for our 5th guy if they get pitched like Bieber, so on a bad day. So I'm not too concerned about Bieber. I mean, a few shaky starts have given me a little bit, of concern, but I think he'll bounce back. He's a real workhorse. He's gonna, figure out what's going on. Savali has just quietly, went in. I think it's his 8th win, which would make him, I believe the last time I checked, well, it changes, each game barely, but, leading in the American League with wins. So Savali has slowly and quietly just become Mr. Reliable. So that's good. And then from there, honestly, and they talk about this, a lot with the pitching staff and things, they're really just playing this pretty much game by game as it goes. So Bieber will be on tomorrow. Oh, and then, I should know this is horrible. I forgot already who's going to be pitching. Henches, Mejia, JC Mejia. Sorry.
Okay.
So, because I was thinking to myself, didn't Mejia just pitch? But then, so Mejia, and he is on. He's not stretched out yet. So, what Tito's explaining is he's needing to stretch out these guys like Cal, Mejia, some of the newer guys, because they're going to be playing 30 games in the next 31 days. So there is no room for error here. I mean, this pitching cannot get overtaxed. We can't have anybody. So first, I wasn't really understanding when Mejia was pitching really well, why we would take him out. But it's seeming to make more sense. They're really trying to get this pitching staff ready for these 30 games out of 31 days. So fingers crossed that works. Tristan pitched really well in the minors, his game the other day. I still think he probably needs a little bit more time down there, but even his 5 innings that he can give us seem to be better than what we're getting out of these bullpen games. So
Yeah, so we're going to take a break really quickly. So we'll be right back. We'll get some more tribe information for you because we got to talk about this defense, which is just god awful. So we're going to be right back. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Her and Huddle on WOVU at 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports. Remember, you can always give us a call to join the conversation at 216-271-0959. You can always listen to us online at WOVU.org. And you can also download that WOVU app and take us with you on the go. And today, I got my girl, Cleveland Kate, with me. And also, we have our guest, Miss Natalie from Sports Illustrated, Indians beat writer. Sorry, it took me a second to get my faculties together. So, ladies, how you guys doing today?
I'm good. I think it's those strobe lights, Rachel. You've been sitting in that booth with those strobe lights on. It's affecting your brain. That's right. Keep laughing.
Because I'm laughing so hard because part of it's true, and you know it, Kate. You know you went in for my kryptonite. So yeah, I'm like, that's why I'm laughing so hard because it's funny. It actually is. So Natalie Turk is here with us. So Natalie, normally you have to talk me off the ledge. Should I have a reason? Because one of the things that now I will admit I didn't get a chance to watch much of this series this weekend. I actually have watched more softball, women's college softball this weekend than I ever have in my entire life. So they were playing at the times that the Indians were playing. Huh?
Why? Did you lose a bet?
No, Odyssey Alexander. We're going to get to her in a little bit. But I want to talk about this Indians defense. Natalie, what is going on with that? And what does Tito had to say about his team's defense?
Well, I mean, a lot of it is said to be because we have, some young players that are shuffling around positions. So, for example, Yu Chang, maybe playing first base one night, second base the next, then he's playing third base and giving Jose a night off at DH since Reyes is hurt. So that's some of the reason for it. There were several bad defensive plays also made behind the plate one by Austin Hedges, but then he homer, 2-run homer, so I forgave him. But anyway, Rene Rivera made a few as well, and so he doesn't play much. So it's more just consistency of these guys positioning out in the field, but to be honest, and just to be frank, we're at the Major League Baseball level. At this point, you got to know the fundamentals, and you got to play them well. But I do, for some of the younger guys, I think we talked about this before too, Rachel. I mean, he didn't have that minor league season, last year. So I know that does somewhat put them at a disadvantage. But I'm just hoping, as the season keeps going, we got to start making some of those just routine plays. I mean, just a little flop to first base, and we can't be, over that. That's what a lot of this series was. And you're probably lucky you didn't watch it because, it's my job. So I have to, but if I was just a fan, I probably would have maybe turned it off and went to softball. But so, yeah, I think that I know you have a reason to be on the ledge, and you would have been very upset, I'm sure. And, there was a lot even said on the post game, even from a lot of Indians writers as well, finally after this debacle kind of in the last few days, because it's consistently been bad, and they just looked like they're just missing everything. And so I don't want to make excuses. I don't like to make excuses, but what's being said, like I said, is, they're young, they're moving around from position to position, and they don't get the consistency there. But all the guys, of course, are owning up to their mistakes whenever they're asked about it. Afterwards, nobody's making any, pointing any fingers at anything. So, and that's what an article, it's funny, I just wrote about, and then I lost 18-0, but I wrote it yesterday. It's like, how are they winning so many games? So.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, you can own up to all the mistakes that you want to, but my thing is, it needs to be better.
Yep.
You can.
They keep making the same mistakes over and over again.
Exactly.
Cut them slack at the beginning of the year. I'm like, what? Last year was a COVID year. Everything was weird. We don't have as many fans in the seats, yada, yada, yada. We're almost 60 games in, and I still don't have a guy who can toss a ball to first base. I mean, some of this stuff isn't different whether you're, 10 years old in Little League or 30 years old in the major leagues. You're right back to fundamentals, and the rest should have been off by now. Natalie, this is our first conversation. I harp a lot on coaching. I harp on it a lot. I think our pitching staff is clearly suffering from the fact that Mickey Callaway left us a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago, or however long it's been, because our pitching staff has not been the same since he left. And I think his effect on that staff was very underrated.
He had a lot of effects on a lot of people too, Kate.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna zip my lip. I want to say I can't. Okay, I can't.
We went through 6 pitchers the other day in that 5-18 loss. Thank God they were ahead, and we didn't have to pitch the 9th inning. We only had to pitch 8 innings. It was ridiculous, and it was. There's this quicksand thing going on. Once one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong.
Yep.
And they're just mentally not in the game. But we are far enough into this season that I expect better. So I've got a little bit of a grouchy, pessimistic look at the Indians. I get a lot of people, including Rachel's buddy George, who tells me I shouldn't be so down. We're in second place in our division. We're only 4 games back. I'm like, okay, our division sucks. Like, we have people in our division that haven't even won 30 games yet. It's not like we're in the best division in baseball and we're holding our own. Our division is not good. And so there's no pride to be taken in saying that we're in second and we're in the race for the division. You need to get some wins under your belts.
Right. Kate brought up a great point about Mickey Callaway, though, and he was a pretty good.
I'm probably and I miss him.
Oh, no, he was excellent. He was an awesome pitching coach. And the Indians, produced some great pitching underneath Mickey Callaway. But Mickey Callaway can't get out of his own way, unfortunately. But, I mean, they had some great pitchers who pitched under Mickey Callaway. And that's just a fact. So, that's a great point that you mentioned. But, right now, the answers are just, I don't really know, and Willie says, but that's to the Indians' advantage. Not having Mickey Callaway, because with Mickey Callaway comes trouble. So, but hopefully Mickey can right the ship, and he'll probably be given another opportunity, probably a few years from now, because isn't suspension for 2 years?
Yes, through 2023. Yes,
So
I think it'll be eligible in 23.
A lot of people have the opportunity to fail up, so he will fail back into the Major League Baseball, and that's just the way it is. Because Nat, we got you for a few more minutes, right?
Yep.
Okay. So did you guys take a look at the Women's College World Series at all and check out Odyssey Alexander? It's okay if you guys didn't, but if you guys didn't get a chance to.
Well, when you told her about me, when we were texting about the Indians game, I looked at the play that that she made. I love a Cinderella story. I love the whole thing. So I did watch the highlights and read some things, but I'm sure you watched it live and stuff. You can go on more, but I was really impressed with it. And like I said, I love that underdog story and that play she made at the plate. That was great. So. But yeah, so I caught up that's about as much as I was able to do with it.
Yeah, and pretty much the same thing as me. I've been doing the work with MLB Bro, and they actually brought her to my attention, like, hey, you need to be paying attention to this, because normally we cover black and brown major leaguers, but this is a female who's out there doing it in softball, and softball is predominantly white or what have you. So it's this girl from this small town in Virginia who is on kind of the world stage in the Women's College World Series. So the double elimination, I'm like, I don't understand this. You get to play like 5 times before they decide if you're eliminated or not. But, it's just a true underdog story. They were unranked, and they came in their first game and they beat number 1 ranked Oklahoma, who has 4 national titles under their belt. The previous one was in 2019. So, it's just a great underdog story. I watched the game against Oklahoma State, and talk about unfair. The College World Series is in Oklahoma City. So this team from Virginia has had to play Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. So
they like to play bowl games and playoff series and things like that. Neutral fields that just have to be a 20-minute drive from the main campus of whatever school's in there. So that shouldn't surprise you at all. That's an NCAA problem.
Yeah, so it's kind of awful because you feel bad because this whole stadium, this whole, baseball stadium is full of people for Oklahoma State. And then you have like this tiny patch, like this section of people there for purple. But, Joel says JMU brought Cinderella to the dance. So it's just that perfect underdog story. Right now they did lose to Oklahoma yesterday, 6-3. And right now, James Madison is losing to Oklahoma 7-1. Oh, so it was just finalized. So I don't know what happens to them. I guess they play in another bracket, and Oklahoma does get a chance to move on, but James Madison is 2-2. So I'm not sure what happens after today's game, but if anything, it's just been kind of a joy for me to watch it. Like I said, this is one of the first times I ever watched softball, women's college softball. So she's a great story. So inspiration of girls everywhere. Do you guys remember that Monet girl that took Little League by storm some years ago, the little black girl, little pitcher or whatever? Yeah. So it kind of reminds me about that. And that girl is a college sophomore now. Well, she might still be a freshman because of COVID, but she is playing softball at Hampton University in Virginia as well. So, she's doing great too. So just love a good underdog story. And me and Kate, we really don't talk about women's sports that much on our show, but, I thought it was a great opportunity. Huh?
We talk about lacrosse.
Yeah, but not as often as I would like. We probably should, but ain't nobody trying to hear
when you're refereeing.
Right, I know. Oh my gosh.
Gotta run. The rules.
So I have admitted that I'm a terrible ref.
She's gonna referee games, and they actually make her know the rules.
But you know what? You'll be proud of me because my last game, I actually made some calls. I didn't swallow my whistle and it didn't become a piece of jewelry. So I was actually making calls and I was making them confidently. But it was like 10-year-olds playing, so they didn't know the rules either. So it made me feel good.
That was good.
Own your whistle, girl.
So if I do decide to officiate next year, I think I'm going to be a little better, and I'm going to work in the off season to get better. So we're going to head to another break. But Nat, I want to thank you for coming on today.
Thank you
Because, like I said,
always.
yeah, you guys have an open invitation, talk us off the ledge. The Indians have an off day, so you have an off day as well. So I'm going to let you get back to it because you're going to be on a grind. So we're going to take a break. I'll be back with Cleveland Kate, and you are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU at 95.9 FM. Thanks, Nat.
Thank you.
Bye. It's nice to meet
Bye-bye.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports. And I know Ronnie Cannon, who just ran that liner or whatever, that last commercial. I actually went to school with him. So, hey, Ronnie, how you doing? Hey, Cleveland Kate.
Hey.
How are you? I've missed you.
I know. It's been a couple weeks.
I know. You've been jet-setting around the world.
I was in Vegas for my birthday, and then we have Memorial Day, and now we're back at it.
Did you win any money?
I did not play.
You didn't play anything?
No.
Like at all?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that is possible when you go to Vegas, though.
I take that back. I put $20 in the slot machine. I pulled the handle. I won 25. I cashed out. Done. I'm like, that's it. It's the first time I was there for work, so it's the first time I've ever gone gambling and actually came home with money, so that was a good thing.
Okay. So you was there for work and your birthday? I told you happy birthday, didn't I? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. I was about to say. I forgot to get into the cheating thing with Natalie, too, but while I got you, what do you think? What are your thoughts about the allegations of cheating that have been taking place? Because now Major League Baseball coming out with some stuff about like a 10-game suspension and all that other stuff. So that possible issue with James Karinchak, they never checked his glove or anything like that, though. So they never called for a glove check or anything. So they don't really have any real proof. I know. I see those lashes, girl. There isn't anything that was.
If you're not,
there's no
you're
evidence.
Not crying, right? You're not rubbing, you're not racing. Isn't that what they say? They're going to find a way to cheat in any sport. It just feels like it's a little easier in baseball. We had that huge scandal with the Astros years ago using technology. They've been putting snot and tar and gum and Vaseline and whatever.
Vagisil is the new
before
thing.
The movie Major League came out. It's been going on forever. Now they're just back to looking for it again. So they had a whole bunch of folks in the minor leagues that were taken down for it. The MLB owners, upper management folks all had, 2 days worth of meetings. And they basically said, number one, they're going to try to find a way to empower the umpires to take a look at hats and balls and uniforms and see if they can catch any of the players doing it. They're going to pay much more attention to what's going on in the minor leagues. If this is a systemic problem, and we both know it is, you need to catch these kids when they're younger, get them out of the habit of doing it when they're in the minors. So what happens is you kind of get your way through college and high school and college, getting by however you can. You get yourself into the minor leagues, and these are the things that you do to increase your stock so that you will get called up. And then once you get called up, you have to keep doing that, putting a little something on the ball. So they figure if they can nip it in the bud at the minor league level, they can get the guys out of the habit of doing it. They won't even get brought up if they don't actually have stuff, and it'll take care of the problem. The other thing they're going to do is they're also trying to figure out a way to put greater responsibility on the teams themselves. Find a way to penalize the team if they catch a player doctoring the ball, with some kind of a substance during the game. So, I mean, it's a long time coming. I think a lot of it is really a backlash from the Houston Astros situation. That was a lot harder to catch. Stealing signs and that kind of thing is a lot harder to catch. This is pretty cut and dried. You walk up to if you're the umpire, you take that walk down to the mound, grab the pitcher's hat, and there's a big old chunk of Vaseline under the visor. Dude, busted. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier to catch that. The question for me is going to be, what does an umpire need to see in order for him to check? Is he just going to randomly check everybody that comes in? Is he going to every pitcher that comes in? So, we talked about that game in Baltimore. The Indians had 6 different pitchers. When a guy starts running in from the outfield from, the bullpen, does he have to make a stop at home plate first for the umpire to pat him down, check his glove, look under his hat, feel up his chest, make sure there's nothing going on before he can take the mound? How are you going to do that? You know what I mean? So that there's going to be some practical measures. At the same time, it shouldn't take long. Shouldn't take long to do a quick spot check of the glove and the hat. I'm not saying you got to feel them all up and check under their shirt or anything, but at least start with the glove and the ball, or the glove and the hat. Those are the easiest things that you can check. It won't take any time at all. Lord knows we don't want to slow the game of baseball down anymore. It should be something easy to do. Otherwise, you start dealing with random checks, and then guys are complaining, how come I always get random checked and these guys don't? They need to find a more organized way to do it, but they have to give the officials the authority to do it, and then they have to have very clearly defined punishments. If I catch you doing it, is it a warning? Are you ejected from that game? What is the punishment tier going to look like? So there'll be a lot more news coming out of these meetings than what we've been given so far. But I feel like baseball needs to find a way to save face and make sure that they're at least making an effort that the fans can see to cut back on some of these shenanigans.
Yeah, and I just kind of think about Trevor Bauer, who called out the Houston Astros, and then his pitching gets remarkably better after he leaves Cleveland. He goes to Cincinnati, wins a Cy Young down there, and Shane Bieber wins Shane has a Bieber Shane has a jersey that says not Bieber on it.
It's a lot easier to be a really good pitcher and to have a really low ERA when the people that are at bat don't know what you're going to throw first.
Yeah. So now he's being accused of cheating.
You see, is going after Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
so
I'm not saying he was cheating. I'm just saying, RPMs went way down once y'all busted a bunch of minor league players and put everyone on notice. So I'm not saying he's cheating. I'm just saying he's cheating.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy how things are coming full circle, though. Like it's just like this is the way everything was supposed to play out. So he's came down a little bit to mortality. I think his pitching since that's kind of happened. So, we will see. But, could this be another big scandal in baseball, or does it go under the radar because people will, stop cheating momentarily, but then go back to doing what they're doing? So I think they're creatures of habit and they're going to go back to cheating because that's what they do. That's what they do best. And everybody is looking to get that extra edge some way, somehow. And it's part of the game, unfortunately.
It feels like it's just always something with it's PEDs and the era of the home runs that you and I, grew up in. And It's stealing signs, whether it's using technology or having someone sitting out, in the bleachers with their binoculars on, texting some guy in the dugout and stealing signs. And now it's greasing up the ball. I mean, it feels like it's always something.
You would think it would make baseball more popular because people are cheating. You would think that, they would get fans there who hate cheaters and all that other stuff. But it doesn't seem like it's done anything for the popularity of baseball. But I don't know if it's always that cheating, because I think it's probably the hardest sport to play. So people always have to cheat to be good at it and do it, because you don't really hear about cheating in football and basketball. You hear about, you don't even hear about people doing steroids anymore like they used to do in the 80s and stuff, but nobody is really looking to get edges like that in basketball and football, because I guess you just don't really need none. But I mean, it takes a lot to be able to hit a baseball. Like watching these girls in softball, how they pitch and all that other stuff. Even, these softball pitchers are sitting up there throwing 70 miles an hour. And I guess it's pretty hard to hit a ball at 70 miles an hour. So think about, a grown man throwing it, almost close to 100 miles an hour.
Remember in basketball, it's point shaving.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And in football, you had like Bounty Gate and that kind of stuff, but it wasn't, and you had Belichick videotaping practices, but those weren't, to me, those weren't things that were like cheating the integrity of an actual game. You were trying to get a little bit of an edge at looking at somebody practice, although really why you'd want to watch the Jets practice, I don't know. I mean, and Bounty Gate was just about having people be more aggressive and stuff on the field. In basketball, point shaving was a thing, whether it was players or referees. There's a lot of gambling history with that, but it always seems to be along those lines. Baseball's problems go all the way back to the 1920s, the Chicago Black Sox, they called them.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like, I don't know if there's more opportunity in baseball for shenanigans or what the deal is, but it feels like a different animal when it comes down to things that affect the actual integrity of the final score.
Maybe one day somebody will write a tell-all book about that. And I wonder if Jose Canseco has, but like those real nuances that you talk about, like, but most managers are former players too. So yeah,
it's definitely a boys club. We'll just say that it's a good old boys club.
Yeah, where cheating is accepted and not really frowned upon. But
rubbing is racing. That's
you would think the baseball purists would have a problem with that as well, but it's like they have even allotted for the cheating of the game. So I don't know. It's just a weird thing to me. We're going to take a break really quickly because I want to talk a little football with you, talk a little NBA playoffs really quickly because once the Cavs are out, but still it's kind of a
LeBron's out, right? Aren't the playoffs done?
I know. That's
LeBron ain't playing. Somebody must have won the finals. That's been the last 14 years of my life.
I know, right? It's so weird. So we're going to talk about that in 1 second. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Have experienced financial hardship as a result of COVID-19, Tri-C can help with full tuition assistance. Safely get the in-demand degree or training you need with online and on-campus classes. Go to tric-edu to check out our programs and resources. So, what are you waiting for? Register now for summer classes. Tri-C is where futures begin.
This message is brought to you by Cuyahoga Community College and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Attention Shaker Heights residents. The United States Postal Service is bringing a mobile unit every Monday and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at 2855 East 130th Street in Cleveland. This mobile unit will offer services including stamps, package mailing, and money orders in place of the Shaker Finance Station, which is closed through October while enhancing security. P.O. Box customers should continue to pick up their mail at the Shaker Main Post Office at 3675 Warrensville Center Road, Mondays through Fridays from 8:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. The lobby will remain open for 24 hours a day. Once again, the United States Postal Service will use a mobile unit for Shaker Heights residents every Monday and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at 2855 East 130th Street in Cleveland through October. This is brought to you by the United States Postal Service and WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.
There was music. I was just getting started.
What music from the commercial?
Yeah.
It was coming in. You just probably
Don't play
couldn't
our
hear.
Beyonce music anymore. I gotta find something to dance to.
Because Chris took that off, so I'll say something to him about that.
Yeah,
I'm
you bet.
sorry.
I'll say something to him.
Yeah, make sure you you get on him about that. But he been pretty decent lately. So yes, please let him know to bring back our music because I'm playing the same old thing. So my production skills have gotten a little bit better. So that's something I'm proud of. I'm getting much better at it. So put some music in there, and look, I could do this too. Listen, Kate. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear nothing.
Oh, that was clapping. I'm sorry. I thought you would heard that. That was a clapping effect. So I know how to do that. So
Okay.
When you say something good, I'm going to do that.
Effects.
So, yes, LeBron James is gone from the NBA playoffs.
Right? So that means the playoffs are over.
This is like the first time since
2007? When he joined the league?
Yeah, I think 2007. Because wait, no. Did we make the playoffs in 2005? Because remember, we couldn't get past the Pistons. So we got past the Pistons in 2007. But wasn't it for 2 years we couldn't get past them? So I think
played
LeBron.
the Spurs in the finals in 2007, I thought.
Right, yeah. But remember,
that was our first trip to the finals.
He came in the league in 2003, and I don't think we made it the first 2 years he was here. So, yeah. So he's made the playoffs since 2005. So we've had LeBron James in the playoffs for 16 years.
But not just in the
weird.
Playoffs, Rachel. In the last game of the season.
Pretty much, yeah, the past 10 years.
Either his team lost in the finals or they won in the finals, but he has played in the last game of the season, I think all but 2 years since 2007.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah.
With three different teams.
And it's just kind of crazy to me, So I'm like, will people really not watch because LeBron is not playing anymore? It'd be interesting to get those numbers.
I waited to start watching because that whole play-in thing was just a joke. So I just waited till that was done so I could take a look at my 8-team tournament bracket and see what we thought about that. I don't know. I don't even know who I like to win this. I'm very conflicted about some of these teams. And I just don't, even with the season, at this point, obviously the whole season's behind us. I still don't know who's going to show up and win it all.
Okay, so let's do the Western Conference right quick. So Utah versus the LA Clippers. Yes. So that game starts tomorrow, actually. So Utah is 1, the Clippers are 4. Who are you taking out of there?
Oh, I'm taking Utah. I'm a front runner.
Okay, so Denver 3, Phoenix 2. That starts tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to take Phoenix. They took out LeBron, so why wouldn't I take them?
Oh, somebody said LeBron did not make it to the playoffs his first year as a Laker. That is correct. Thank you. So, all right. So you got Phoenix and Utah. Who's going to come out of that? Western Conference Finals. I'm thinking possibly Phoenix, man. If Devin Booker keep playing away, that putting up 47, almost a 50 burger, I'm just saying it could be possible. And Chris Paul.
I want Utah to win, just so that I can explain to more people why there ain't no Jazz in Utah.
But wait, okay. Like the whitest place on earth.
I'm telling you.
But Chris Paul too. Chris Paul might advance further than he's ever been before if Phoenix does it. So that's something to think about. And then left in the East, we have number 1 Philly versus number 5 Atlanta. So last night, Atlanta kind of beat up on Philly a lot. So Atlanta is kind of trying to make some noise here. And then,
I know, but I got my old Bye Felicia memes out for the Hawks. So I got to root for Philly in this one.
Okay. And then Milwaukee versus Brooklyn. So Milwaukee 3, Brooklyn 2. Brooklyn leads 1-0 already.
All right, I'm going to stay with Brooklyn then.
Okay, so coming out of this, you got Brooklyn versus who in the Eastern Conference?
Philly. I'm gonna
Okay.
take Brooklyn.
Okay, Brooklyn versus
I got
Philly.
Brooklyn versus Phoenix in the final, or Brooklyn versus Utah in the finals.
Okay, and we'll leave it at that until we get some more basketball jumping off. So, yeah, OTAs. How excited are you that we are getting closer and closer to football, Kate?
I'd be more excited if I knew if I could actually go watch some OTAs and training camp. I'm still trying to figure that whole situation out. My whole sports mojo has been a mess since COVID started, and I'm just trying to get in the mindset. We didn't have a combine this year. You and I got to go down and cover the draft, which was pretty sweet. And I've been kind of keeping an eye on things. I am super excited. There's my Valley Girl voice. I'm super excited to see what this Browns defense looks like in training camp. If they are as good on turf as they are on paper, because on paper, we got pretty dang fast in this offseason with the additions they made and their options in the draft and free agency and stuff. This defense was slow and sluggish and very reactionary. And while I get on a fundamental level, the defense has to react to what the offense does, there are still positions where if you have a dominating presence at safety, at corner, at linebacker, you can impose your will on the offense. You don't have to react to what they're doing. You can force them to react to what you're doing. And we have some of those kind of players now. And I'm just super excited to see if, like I said, on paper, they are really as good as they're going to be actually on the field.
Oh, before we get all the way in the Browns, what do you think? Should they have made a decent stab at Julio Jones?
Well, considering that the Titans got him for a second-round draft pick, yeah. If I'd have known you were going to give him away for 3 magic beans, they flopped a 6 and a third in 2 years. I don't even care about that one. A second-round pick in 2022 is basically what they got for him. Now, that's troublesome to me because I'm trying to figure out, is this addition by subtraction for the Falcons? Are you getting rid of Julio because he was not worth the trouble? He was causing more problems than he was worth, and you just needed to get him out of town. Is that going to be initial for Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans? I don't know. I feel like the Titans have a pretty good ship going on down there. Yes. They seem to have a culture that's doing well since he took over. They've got some offensive weapons now with Derrick Henry. He's going to be fine running back. I don't know about the A.J. Brown situation. We'll see. I'm not worried about the fact that we have to face them this year. It's one game. Not worried about one game. We spent the offseason building our offense or our defense.
We played the Titans again this year.
Putting in some depth at offense to take care of the Bills, the Steelers, and the Ravens, and the Kansas City Chiefs, because we're going to play them again in the playoffs. I'm not worried about one game against the Titans. Don't care. But if I'd have known Julio was going to go for a second-round pick, I'd have made an offer.
What week do we play the Titans? I don't think I realized we played them again this year.
We do.
Gosh, that sucks. And we playing them at home, right? We better have them at home. Right?
I think so. Wait, hold on. I'll go look at my schedule. You talk.
Yeah, because I'm looking for my schedule too, because I'm just like I
have an app for that, but I'm on my phone talking to you, so I can't open up my app.
I don't see them on the schedule, Kate. Kate, I don't see them on our schedule. I see the Texans, but I don't see the Titans again.
I thought we had them.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we had them this year.
Well, then I care where Julio went.
Yeah. No, you don't, because, I mean, possibly, we could face them in the playoffs.
So I don't care.
I mean, but we could have faced him in the playoffs. But like you said, when you get rid of him for nothing, if you can just possibly imagine, Julio, OBJ and Jarvis lining up all in one play, and that defense trying to pick somebody off, and oh my God, like I just, I got a hot flash for a second, but it wasn't meant to be. It is what it is. And, I wish Julio well, but getting back. So do you think this defense will have enough time to gel in with preseason and stuff like that? Do you think they're going to have enough time?
Yes.
Because we'll actually have a preseason this year.
What?
I said, we'll actually have a preseason this year.
Well, not only that, we have a head coach, a staff, a system, a quarterback, key players coming back for another year. We're not starting over all over again. Too many years We started out with brand new everything. It is a nightmare that we have lived through, 1-31, to try to get all of this stuff done in OTAs and in training camp. Now, yeah, there are going to be some new elements. Yes, there are going to be some new players that you got to work into this, but the core of our offense is the same. So all you're doing is refreshing the memory, coming up with some new plays, working off the rust, and getting those boys back to work. The defense is going to learn how to play together. But again, it's minor compared to brand new coach, brand new coordinators, brand new system, brand new quarterback, brand new everything. We have started from scratch so many times that it cannot be understated how valuable that it is for this team to be bringing everybody back and to be just redoing the same system and not have to start from scratch again. That is huge. We don't have to waste all kinds of time on the things that we've had to do in the past. We can get right to getting ready to play. I already know who my starters are. We're not battling for starting positions here, except for maybe in the secondary. We're, the guys are battling to make the 53-man roster, but it's not like the past where you didn't even know who your starters are going to be, right? You know who your starters are going to be. They're going to get their reps. They're going to get their work in. They're going to be ready to go.
Who's that wild card on defense for you? You think that will probably be one of the new additions that will be an impact player for us? Who do you think?
Greg Newsome.
Okay.
Absolutely cannot wait to see what. I mean, JOK has all the ability to be that kind of guy, but I think the line is going to lose a lot of its glamour to Miles and to what's his name on the other side. Lord help me.
On offense or
defense? On the other side of the other edge rusher, we just signed it.
Oh, Jadeveon
Clowney. So everyone's going to be saying that that's the thing. For me, it's going to be the battle in the secondary. If Greedy Williams is healthy, if Denzel Ward can stay healthy. But I think from the new guys coming in, you've got JJ3, you've got Anthony. I just call him little Anthony
Schwartz, right?
The
receiver dude.
Walker.
Okay.
Anthony Walker. You've got Troy Hill. Yeah, I mean, the additions that we've made to this defense are insane. But I think Greg Newsome has the highest ceiling. Okay. And I think his floor is higher than some of the other floors. And I know he's a rookie and we just drafted him, and what he did in college isn't what he's going to do in the pros. But he was really on my sweet list of people. I actually got 2 of the guys I wanted with our first round pick since JOK dropped to the second. I love the idea of seeing another Newsome in a Browns uniform. It's been a long time since we've had one of those. And so I'm just really hoping he lives up to the hype that I've given him in my head. But I really believe he's someone to keep an eye on and that he can have a real impact. As fast as he is, he's going to be the guy covering those long, quick receivers that we're playing against. And he's going to give him a hard time. He's going to give him a very hard time.
George had asked what you thought of the Julio Jones trade, which you had answered. He might not have heard that, but also about whether or not Aaron Rodgers will show up tomorrow.
I think he will. Why? I think the media is making a bigger deal out of that whole Aaron Rodgers situation than it really is. I think the Titans got a sweet deal for Julio Jones. And I said, if I had known the price tag was going to be that sweet, I just swung at him with the second round pick.
Do you think they called at all?
Huh?
You think they called at all?
I want to say no, because I want to assume that they just figured the price tag was too high. But then again, everybody talks to everybody. So who knows what they knew, what they didn't know. The other thing to consider is that you may have gotten to trade for him cheap, but you've still got to pay him. And at the end of the year, he's going to command money. And the Browns are doing a really nice job in managing their money, managing their salary cap situation, making very smart decisions and getting guys signed quickly, got our rookies signed quickly, getting our veterans renewed early when they can, and doing extensions. So I don't think they were ever seriously interested in him.
All right, Cleveland Kate, I appreciate you. And that's our time. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. Keep it locked right here for CSC 216. And we are out of here.